Here we go.
Fans rejoice. Jakub Dobeš gets in front of the net again tonight, so it's an automatic win, right? Well, the New Jersey Devils have been having some difficulty lately. Plus, they've lost their starting goaltender, and a great goaltender at that, Jacob Markstrom. But one of the curses of the Montreal Canadiens is that when we're playing against former teammates, they always seem to shine. And Jake Allen is in net, Jonathan Kovacevic, and Thomas Tatar. What kind of game is this going to be? Let's talk about it.
Like poop through a diarrhea-infected goose.
You know, all things considered, I thought Montreal was lined up for a huge win this game. The Devils haven't been playing that good lately. Like I said, Markstrom is currently out. And after the terrible showing against Detroit and the night off, I thought maybe they would come out, you know, with something to show, something to demonstrate to the at-home fans, telling them, hey, we're not done yet. I thought maybe Martin St. Louis would have sat them all down and watched the tapes back over and over and over again, drill into their heads that they can't do what they did last time. Sitting them down like Jeffrey Dahmer, ready to watch some tapes.
What are we gonna do?
We're gonna hang out and watch a movie. And I'll pay you.
But we're gonna see a lot of the same mistakes that happened in the Detroit game, which leads me to believe that these are some tired boys. I don't know what it's gonna take to get out of that funk that they're in. Maybe some shiatsu massage or something, but they got to do something quick because the last video didn't perform very well and I need some more subscribers. So would you kindly subscribe? We're really close to hitting 9,000 subscribers. I mean, this is incredible. We're way ahead of where I thought I would be at this point. So we're doing fine, but I do want to hit 10,000 subscribers because I want to do something big for the community. Anyway, let's jump into this game and we start where we always start. You know where that is? That's the lineup, baby. So the forwards for tonight: Caulfield, Suzuki, Slavkovsky, Laine, Doc, Newhook, Anderson, Evans, Armia, Pezzetta, Dvorak, Gallagher. On defense, we had Hudson, Matheson, Gouli and Carrier, Xhaka and Savard, and finally, like I said, Dobeš and net. The only thing I wanted to mention is that they did call someone up from Laval. Raphael Harvey Bernard, or RHP as I like to call him, stands for repeatedly hurt player, or red hot pepper, not to be confused with the band. But they didn't play Pinard tonight. It was also mentioned by I've never said her name before, and I don't know if I'm saying it right. Priyantha Emrith. She is an insider. She's a sports journalist, and she does have connections to understand what's going on with the Canadiens. She had said earlier today that Josh Anderson and Brandon Gallagher were a game time decision. Leads me to believe that those two individuals are playing a little bit injured tonight. Certainly corroborates with how they played. Anderson was a lot more pulled back. Gallagher, I think he's still scrapped it out. Honestly, he probably plays injured all season long anyway. Anyway, let's jump in. The puck drops. Great energy by both teams, but the Montreal Canadiens actually come out more powerful than the Devils, I find, in the first period. Doc gets a really great opportunity after being fed in front by Laine. And then we see Carrier send a hopping puck up in front. Seems hard to handle by Allen. Not long after, Brendan Dillon gets a goaltender interference call, and he is livid. Not happy about it, gets in Gouli's face. I'm sad to say that, again, just like the Detroit game, the power play is not clicking and does not look good on this power play. Spoilers, this is the only power play of the entire game, and there should have been plenty. That is the theme for tonight's game. The referees decided this one. You guys might think that there's another theme to this game. I'm going to try to downplay it as much as possible. I will mention it because it's worth being mentioned, and it's about Mike Matheson. Anyway, the power play was awful, 0 shots registered. And then I think that the Devils kind of took that momentum, and this happens.
Comes off the line with it. Jesper Bratt to the net. Scores! Nico Hischier.
The thing is, and just before that, going back to the theme, the thing with this goal is the Habs should have been on a power play at this point. Less than 2 minutes before, Laine was taken out of play when he had his stick held, very obviously, by Jonathan Kovacevic. But let's move on. One bad miss by the refs, no big deal, right? That happens every single game, like twice at least. I kind of wish that it wasn't the type of call that would send waves that would allow a goal, but here we are. And it doesn't stop there for the Devils because just a couple minutes later, this happens.
Jesper Bratt trying to go around the net. Dan Gooley stays on him, scores!
This one, there's not really any excuses. Bratt was being watched here. I thought he was tied up pretty good. He gets a weak backhand off and it fools Dobesh. Dobesh went down slow. He puts his head back right away. He knows that he could have handled this one better. So an awful first period. It ends in a bad effort, 12 shots to 6, really looking like that Detroit game. Not to mention, 2 of those 6 shots came late into the first period and were weak ones. So the second period starts. Jesper Bratt brings one off the post.
To the net. Mason is there. Now gives it off. Bratt.
But the Canadiens wake up in the second period, as is tradition. Suzuki gets a big opportunity, but then he gets another chance and finishes the job.
Got it back. Budkowski to Caulfield. Center.
Incredible goal. Great seeing the boys connect like this. Slav, Caulfield, and Suzuki. I had been saying that we won't need to see more from the first line, and that happens this game. Then we see something that I'm sorry to say is starting to become his character a little bit. Lane Hutson gives up the puck in front of the net and sells out Dobesh. But luckily, Dobesh comes up with a brilliant save. Not long after that, Mike Matheson is called for a tripping call. However, if you look at this, they slowed it down a little bit. His stick does not come in contact with the blade. I think that the individual, who is it? Curtis Lazar. I think he just goes down on his own will. I don't think this is an embellishment call, but I think he falls, and it looks like Matheson, with his stick between his legs, makes him fall. So he's called for a bad penalty. I'm not trying to put up excuses for Matheson. This is what I'm seeing. I'm calling it like I see it. But the Canadiens kill off that penalty. A funny moment, Savard gets smoked in the back of the head, and he just kind of plunks off the back of his head, and he's like, huh? What happened?
A penalty, you're over in the corner, you look like your guys are right in the back of the helmet. Oh, man. And
it's like when you're playing an RPG and you put an arrow into somebody's back and they're like, did you hear something? Must have been the wind. I should be saying this like along the entire video because he was really great tonight. Dobesh was phenomenal, putting up all sorts of important saves. This could have easily been like 6-1 after the midway mark of the second period. The thing is, he's having to be brilliant because the defense is just not there. The shots are piling up. Later on in the second period, Siegenthaler gets his arm and stick around Newhook. Newhook is forced down in the corner. No call. And then, just like I predicted it, Thomas Tatar.
The single clear to the corner. Then he gets knocked down by Tatar. At the point, Hamilton waits. Oh, what a save!
The thing with this is Tatar interferes with Matheson. Matheson does not have the puck, and Tatar takes him down, goes into the corner, gets the puck to his teammate. That lines up this goal. I get not calling interference sometimes, but I feel like this was a pretty important for the refs to call interference and they didn't do it. But that's okay because Slavkovsky is cooking up something for Caulfield and Suzuki, and it's beautiful.
Come the Canadiens. Suzuki dropped it off. Caulfield, he's got it.
Slav gets it to Suzuki. Suzuki drops it. Beautiful fade to Caulfield. Caulfield drags it. Beautiful shot. Near the end of the second period, there's a whole flurry of shots, but Caulfield, Suzuki, they keep connecting and making beautiful plays. It looks like there's going to be a big pile up in front. The puck is loose, but the refs call the play. They freeze the play with a loose puck. Again, the refs are coming to the rescue of the Devils. Now we're getting to the dying seconds of the second period, and Jake Evans has a chance to tie it really close. Shots are getting closer as well because it's 28-20 in terms of shots for New Jersey. So a little bit of a better period there for the Habs. Third period, puck drops. Gooley has an incredible chance, but Gooley's not the one that's going to tie it up. He's not the defenseman that's going to tie it up. In fact, it's going to be a defenseman's first goal since joining the Habs. That's right, it's Alex Carrier.
Here's a shot, but Carrier scores! Carrier's got his first as a Canadian!
Beautiful shot from the blue line here. It's assisted by Gooley and Nick Suzuki. That's Nick Suzuki's 50th point of the season. I think I saw that at this point of the season, the last time this happened for the Habs, a 50-point season, was with Kovalev. Maybe it was Koivu. I think it was Kovalev. So they tied it up, but what do they do now? They take their foot off the gas. I kind of feel like they take their foot off the gas here because they only get a few more shots by the end of the third period. And that is how the third period ends. 3-3. We're going to overtime. This game should have been won a long time ago by the refs. But Jakub Dobesh is keeping the Montreal Canadiens in it. Oh wait, I forgot. There was an obvious interference call missed by the refs. Matheson was dumped up front. He was just defending in front of the net and he was taken down. No call. Anyway, OT, the puck drops. Montreal wins it, but they turn it over in the offensive end. Nick Suzuki is forced to make a brilliant defensive play when the Habs were put in a 2-on-1 situation. Making that defensive play, he puts the puck up ice to Matheson. Matheson's basically alone with one defender. I don't know what happens to his confidence. It must have been something to do with all of the terrible things that happened to him this game, but he doesn't go in. He waits and he turns it over in the corner. Next, Doc feeds Newhook and Newhook goes all the way with it, but can't beat Allen. We see Caulfield to Suzuki, kicked off by Allen. Then we see Hudson putting it back for Suzuki. Hudson is dumped after relinquishing the puck. Well after, no call. The audience is erupting. They really expected a call here, and I don't blame them. It should have been a call. But about a minute later, Patrick Laine sends a pass towards Mike Matheson. It's not the best pass. He doesn't lead the pass. Matheson is making forward momentum. Matheson stretches for the pass. He doesn't make it. Instead of playing it safe and maybe putting it behind him, he plays it off the boards, bobbles it, and the Devils are off to the races. That's going to do it. The Devils win it in overtime. That was Jack Hughes. What did I think of this game? Remember that game that Martin St. Louis said, I thought we played a good game, but I'm not talking about the refs? Kind of like that. The refs were really bad this game, like very, very bad. And I'm not trying to gaslight you. Matheson was very bad as well. But I think he needs to take some of the heat off of him because he was getting some bad calls and he was getting some bad luck. But did I like their game? No, I didn't like their game. So not exactly I liked their game, but I'm not going to talk about the refs. I'd like to talk about the refs because they sucked, but I also didn't like their game. Their defensive game was bad. They weren't finding their lanes very good. They definitely woke up in the second period and they played well to a certain point in the third period, but they totally took their foot off the gas. Are they playing injured? I think they're playing injured. This is a different version of the Habs. This is now 4 games where their defensive style has broken down a lot. And I was happy to see the first line producing again, but they're still not the offensive powerhouse that I'd like to see them be. I'm not going to talk for any longer. Today's a tough day in my life, not just because the Habs lost, but just a sad day, a glum day, a blue day. I think January is like that for me. I've said this in other videos, but I just hope you're all doing all right and have a support system if you need support, because I do have a lovely support system that I can't even say enough about. But you know the deal. Like the video, helps me out with search results or something. Subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. And as always, I'll see you down below in the comments.